Good afternoon.
Hi everyone. We're here at lunchtime at the MatCon retreat in Portland, and every day it just continues to blow us open even more. Like, I had this feeling in my heart that we needed to be here, and it's just, it has been validated over and over and over again. So we're coming to you live, and we wanted to talk a little bit about blame and the opposite of that, which is surrender and surrendering to the universe.
Blame is what Matt said yesterday. He said we only blame because we are trying to distract ourselves from giving all of ourselves. And that when we give all of ourselves, there's no way for us to be exhausted. Like, we can't get tired if we are fully immersed in the moment and we're fully present and giving every ounce and every cell of our being. Then there's no way for you to get tired and be exhausted from that moment. And he also spoke about how when you blame someone, you're distracting yourself from your process of how you are, harmonizing and moving through the world and creating your life. So, so the best resolution is don't blame, and don't look at things as problems. Look at them as a process of how you move through the world. Is really quite profound and moving for both of us.
Yeah, and he talked a lot about cooperating or surrendering to the universe. And so that piece that Peter's talking about, where you just surrender into the process. And it can be so easy to blame someone. Like, you can just be sitting there and someone comes up and triggers you, or they bring something to your attention that you don't really want to look at. Then how you can start unraveling that is you really, really get to the truth of you're not a problem. And they're not a problem. There are problems in the world, but if you're not it and they're not it, then it makes it so much easier to not assign blame. Because when you're assigning blame, then you're just distracting yourself from the true gift of that moment. And that's if someone's triggering you or someone's bringing a process up to you, then it's just giving you feedback as to what's the next piece of you to look at. Like, what's that part of you that you haven't surrendered to, or you haven't let go of, or you haven't given back to whoever gave it to you as a child. And so it's so beautiful that when someone comes to you and you really want to blame them and you really want to find this problem, take a few breaths and be able to recognize, wow, thank you so much for being a messenger. Thank you for bringing me this next piece for me to look at on the evolution of my growth. And it's been so incredible. Like, one question that I just keep asking myself, and it's the one piece that it's really hard for me to fully step in to my journey, is that letting go of that I chose to be a parent. And like, for 15 years, then that was the majority of my life, was being a mom to my 3 boys. And the last 10 years, then it's been exploring this journey and really diving into finding myself and my passion on this planet. And I go see them in between trips and we talk along the way, but there's still been this piece of, I don't know, the incapacity to forgive myself for choosing me over choosing being a mom. And so the last few days as we've been at this retreat, then it really became so clear that in following my passion, in following this piece, then it's breaking the chains. Like, if I would have stayed home, there were so many things inside of me that I just carried over from my mom, from my dad, from my grandma, from my lineage, that would have just continued to have my children live in the same city, in the same religion, with all of these same belief systems and the stuff that I grew up with and was stuck with. And so by being willing to question it and go out in the world and really have the courage to follow my own heart, then that was like the greatest gift that I could have given my sons, because then all the healing that I'm doing and all of the remembering and the coming back into the greatest light that I am is helping them be able to let go of all of those ancestral chains that I would have just passed down to them. And
so the cycle would have continued.
It just freed so much. And so I realized it's really okay to love my mission and love my passion and love that I had the courage, like, just love myself more for having the courage to choose me. And it didn't mean that I didn't love my children and that I don't choose them. I love being a mom. It's just different. And the way that it showed up as this plan in this time, in this planet, is me choosing to do whatever it took to be able to break the chains and the belief systems and the things that my family was stuck with, so that they get to grow up more free. And so that's probably been the most profound thing that I've gotten from this workshop with Matt. And there's just so much work here that when you can stop allowing other people's problems to be your problem, there's no reason to resist. There's no reason to hate the messenger. There's no reason to blame them. And you can actually be co-creating with the universe. And like Matt was saying, you know, the universe rewards you. The universe pays you for co-creating with it, because it has, there's this, your destiny. There's your whole plan that you're here on this planet to do. And the more that you're willing to surrender into it and say, yes, I'm here, and look at the things, whatever's in the way, and be able to surrender those things too, instead of fighting them, then all of a sudden you get to be this unique being that you were born to be. And then your children get to be the unique beings they were born to be. It starts releasing your parents to be the unique beings they were born to be. And we all get to help each other instead of blaming each other for being the messenger that's bringing up these things from our past. And because the things from our past are what feels like a threat inside of our body, or what makes us feel like we're afraid to move forward into the future. And so if instead of blaming the person, like, you triggered me, why'd you do this? Like, why are you so different from me? If instead you can say, thank you so much for showing this to me, and then go back and figure out where did that emotion first come up? Like, where did you feel that threat? And then be able to offer that back to the person that gave it to you with blessings. Give it back to them. Like whether you're doing family constellation work, or whether you're doing soul retrieval and taking back your soul, or whatever, if you're doing shamanistic work or tantra work, however it occurs to you, what you want to do is give the pieces back that you've taken on and you've allowed to reside in your body that aren't yours, so that you have more room and space to just get to be you. And then the more that you have space in your body, the more you can feel safe and be here in this moment and actually be who you were born to be. And that's the opposite of blame. That's the opposite of making, you know, other people a problem or you a problem. And when you start owning how amazing and just beautiful that you are, then there's no reason to blame or compare or shame yourself or anyone else, because everyone's just doing the best that they can. And like another thing that Matt offered is that you can give people the gift of your presence, and only do that if you can wholeheartedly show up and be there. As long as you can be there 100%, if you're holding back at all, that's when you're going to get tired. That's when it's going to feel like you're taking on other people's energy. But offer people your presence 100%. And then if they're disrespectful to you, or they're not able to receive that gift, then give them the gift of your absence.
Test that. Mm-hmm. Be a scientist and test that theory out. Give every moment you can, like, your full awareness, your full presence, like every ounce of your being is in that moment. I guarantee you, you will find yourself have so much more energy throughout your day. You will feel so much more invigorated and have vitality just coursing through your veins. So try that out. And see what it's like to be fully aware and present as much as you can, instead of checking out. We all do it. We all take moments where we check out and we go unconscious and we snap at people and we say stuff that we regret.
Or you're worried, and so you hold back. You're afraid because in the past then you've overgiven, and so then you're afraid if you're going to show up, then you hold back parts of yourself. That's what's exhausting. And so when you're able to really, like, oh, Fred Weeks there, I love you. Come a little closer. One of our favorite people are on from Sweden watching. So the beauty is really, really diving into, do you want to be where you are right now? And if the answer is yes, if there's this full-hearted yes, then can you show up surrendered, defenseless, open, and be there for that person, those people? And do you know how Matt defines presence? It's being interested. That's all. It's being interested in the person, place, or thing that's there in front of you. Can you be totally 100% interested in them, whether they're talking about wrestling or a ball game or Tantra? Like, even if you're not interested in what they're talking about, can you be interested in them and the passion that they're showing? And then just start, like Peter said, start that experiment and see when you're showing up 100%, especially those of us that are highly sensitives or empaths, like we're doing a class about this next week in San Diego. But those of you that are empaths that tend to take on the other energies fields around you, see what happens when you're showing up completely 100% interested in the human being that's before you, or the human beings before you, and watch how you don't exhaust yourselves, how you don't take on this other energy because you're just showing up.
Yeah, and you don't have to make that other person's passion your passion to be present. You don't have to be a chameleon where you have to be like, oh my God, this person's super passionate about volleyball or music or whatever. You can just be interested and have that energy and that vitality flow through your body. So explore these ideas. These Matt has been transmuting some amazing messages to us, and
it's only day 3.
It's day 3 through like a lot of amazing energy and information, and we're so excited to share it with you because we wrote down a lot of notes.
We literally took a whole notebook full of notes.
And we're gonna start incorporating some of these ideas into our work and create some exercises around these ideas and bring them to you. So we'll let you know. We'll be in San Diego for 2 days coming up, and you can find us at whereintheworldismoniquedarling.com and everydaytantra.com.
And see what ways that you can stop blaming yourself or other people around you just for today. Just for today, just to have that awareness. Am I blaming myself? Am I blaming another? And can you reframe it in your mind? Just like I've taught people, reframe rejection into redirection. So here's another new thing. Can you reframe anytime that blame comes up, whether it's to yourself or another? Then can you really let that go and just allow that person's in a process, that you're not a problem, they're not a problem. So what now? Can you just take it in as data and the feedback that they're really offering, and the joy and like the freedom and the liberation of that message?
So we just want to say hi to Stacy. Good to see you, Stacy. Who else do we know on here? Jude.
Frederick. We love all of you so much.
Gina.
Hi,
Jennifer.
Aaron.
Good to see all of you.
Love you guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be
see you tomorrow.
Talking to you soon. Bye.